Welcome to the round 11 WAFL wrap. We've also tied it up a little bit today. Had some negative feedback on the beard last week, so we've got a little bit more formal for today's episode, but we have got a special guest that we'll cover off later. It was great to see another big round of WAFL footy with almost 10,000 fans attending the 4 games over the weekend. East Fremantle hosted Peel at Shark Park, and it was Peel Thunder who started strong, kicking 5 goals to 2 in the first. In the second, the Sharks got moving, kicking 4 majors, and by the main break, trailed Peel by 7 points. The Sharks took the honours in the third, kicking 5 goals, but Peel Thunder gave themselves a chance, kicking 3 of their own as Thornton hit the scoreboard. However, in the end, East Fremantle were too strong for Peel, as Jaden Schofield slotted his third for the match and the Sharks won by 25 points. Great to see Anthony Morabito was dominant for Peel with 28 disposals, 10 inside 50s and 3 goals, heading probably for AFL selection. Moving on to our next fixture, the Swan District's hosting Subiaco at Steel Blue. The match certainly lived up to expectations early, with both teams hitting the scoreboard through Boland and Davis. Both clubs put their bodies on the line early with some strong contested marking. By half-time, Subiaco had a 2-goal lead, and that increased to 4 goals by three-quarter time. However, Tim Gapin's late goal in the third kept them in touch. Subi then blew the game apart in the fourth, kicking 7 goals to 3, with dominant big man Boland taking 8 strong marks and kicking 4 goals as they ran out winners by 48 points. Gapin and Davis were solid up forward for the Swans with 4 and 5 goals respectively. The Demons hosted East Perth at Lathlane Park and would be very disappointed in what was a must-win match for their season. East Perth big man Callum Sinclair proved too strong and continued his impressive season with 13 marks and booted 6 majors. Freddie Clutterbuck was dominant through the midfield for the Royals with 28 disposals and 2 goals. Jared Ugle, back from a week in the Rezzies, tried hard for the Demons, as did Paul Bevan, who racked up 17 on his own and kicked 2 goals in a tough day for the Demons. We saw another contender for Mark of the Year as East Perth's Jacob Brennan took this screamer. Then at the showgrounds, Claremont hosted West Perth, who were desperate for a win and to bounce back after their WA Day loss, and Claremont keen to extend their winning form from the previous week. In a low-scoring first half, the real contested footy being played by both sides, West Perth held on to a 9-point lead at half-time with a few late goals to Claremont. West Perth broke out to a 5-goal lead by three-quarter time but were kept goalless in the last quarter by Claremont, although it wasn't enough for the Tigers going down by 9 points. Luke Blackwell continued his recent good run of form against West Perth, racking up 30 touches and a goal. Rowan Kerr was best on ground with 32 touches and also kicked a goal. Right, our round 11 match review panel and tribunal wrap. A really quiet weekend, so that was great. We only had a couple of charges. Frank Stockley from Subiaco, rough conduct against Aaron Alari, was withdrawn by the match review panel. And West Perth's Luke Meadows, rough conduct against Jack Richardson from Claremont. He was offered a reprimand, which he accepted. Highlighting some of the great individual performance from round 11, our AAMI Player of the Week this week is Subiaco's Kyle Horsley. Back from his knee injury, he gathered 27 disposals, 6 tackles, 7 inside 50s in a goal as Subi toppled the league leaders Swan Districts. Our Powerade Colts Young Gun this week is awarded to Zachary Dent from the East Perth Colts, country boy up from Bridgetown, who was a standout in a losing side. He showed elite speed and efficiency with his 23 kicks among 29 disposals. He also gathered 5 tackles, 7 inside 50s and kicked a goal. This WAFL round is a special round dedicated to the Know Your Score, where the WAFL is partnering with the Prostate Cancer Foundation of Australia to have a dedicated round to raising the awareness and profile of prostate cancer here in WA and encourage men to be proactive about their health and to know their general score. We've got a full round of fixtures on Saturday, 3 in the metropolitan area, and the Lions and the Demons are playing each other in Kalgoorlie as part of the Country Sports Enrichment Scheme. Peel Thunder hosts Swan Districts at Bendigo Bank Stadium. The Falcons will be absolutely desperate for a win against the Shark to stay in touch with the top 4. That game's up at Arena Joondalup. And the top of the table Royals take on the Bulldogs, who are also desperately chasing a win. As mentioned earlier on, we've got the Know Your Score round for the WAFL this week, and we've got a special guest today, Glen Jakovich, West Australian football royalty, who's the patron of the Know Your Score campaign. Welcome, Glen.
Thank you, Cameron. Great to be on the first time, my debut on this show.
Yeah, we've got a big following, mate, so let's make sure we cover off all the important stuff. So what promoted you to be part of the Know Your Score campaign?
I got contacted by the campaign people that were putting it all together regarding this round. And when I was approached, I guess my background is that when I was 15, my late father, obviously now, was a guy that worked very hard in the market garden, raised 3 kids and a family and so forth, and then never went to the doctor. He got a little bit crook, and we thought it was a common cold, and it was like a fever, and then about a week later he got diagnosed with secondary cancer, which was quite devastating to the family, and 2 months later he passed away. So had a devastating effect on our family, because here one day he was strong as an ox and working very hard in the garden, and 2.5, 3 months later he's no longer with us. So that was back in 1989, and I guess in the last 25 years, quarter of a century's passed since his passing. We've seen so many cases, obviously, with different types of cancers, and I guess more the awareness and understanding with human technology has really evolved, medicines, interventions, testing, and it's just human nature. We think we're okay. Blokes think that it'll be okay, I'll be right, which is not the case. And part of this campaign this week is stay in the game, look after yourself, and talk to someone. And the first person to talk to is your GP.
Good stuff. And mate, you're still involved in footy in a few different facets, but with the health being important, what are you doing sort of to stay fit? And any advice for blokes like me that probably should get a bit fitter?
Yeah, well, the first thing is you've got to look yourself in the mirror. And I've got family, got three children, 2 girls and a boy, a lovely wife, and I've got a good family environment. So I need to stay in the game. I need to be there. I don't. I've got to be there for the growth of my children, the development of my children. So I have the responsibility to see my doctor every 12 months. I'm 41 years of age, so I'm relatively young, but these diseases, not just prostate cancer, but there's other forms of cancers. They don't discriminate. They, from skin cancers to bowel cancers to prostate, lung cancers, heart disease, all these type of diseases that are common in the workplace and in the environment. If we get to them early, there's amazing success rates. That it's not doom and gloom. You can actually do something about it. So, do you want to know? Of course, you want to know. It's there for you to benefit and help your family, and more importantly, help yourself. So, because the alternative is quite devastating for the family.
I noticed there's a big magazine in the West Australian promoting this important message. Brendan Barrows is one of the guys they feature, former WAFL player at West Perth and Claremont. And the key thing he said is he's got 2 young children. He needs to be there for them. He's fought off prostate cancer in the last couple of years, and that's really good to see. And living a positive health
and not only that,
lifestyle.
You see Jeff Newman in there, so he's probably towards the back end of his life, when he got diagnosed, and he's lived a very healthy life, but it doesn't discriminate. You mentioned Brendan Burrows, he was very young, he's got 2 young children, he's fit, so I think health and fitness is really, really important. The diets, keeping active, you can eliminate all the risks by just taking a few simple steps. They say 30 minutes each day will reduce your risk for some of these diseases by up to 50%. So it's a no-brainer. The other thing, part of this is raising awareness, but finding out what you can do to reduce your risks. Healthy living, diets, obviously with fats and saturated fats, and obesity things can bring on these things like heart disease, diabetes and so forth, and forms of cancer. Smoking, as we know, lots of alcohol. So it's like a game plan. If you know what the game plan is and understand it, then you can do something about it. So part of my role is preventative measures, and as well as raising awareness. And I think the preventative measures, if you can prevent something devastating in your life, your mate's life, your family's life, your wife and family, like I mentioned, then you're ahead of the game. And that's what we're asking people. This weekend, all WAFL rounds are being the round Know Your Score round. And the WAFL, we love our WAFL. It's right through the grassroots, from all your blue-collar workers to anyone that's involved as volunteers. We love the game, we're passionate about the game, but we want to make sure everyone stays in the game. And this weekend is about raising awareness of prostate cancer.
Brilliant. And your beloved Bulldogs take on East Perth.
Yes.
How do you think they're going to finish up going throughout the season, mate?
Well, they've shown in games this year where they're still developing. They've got some young guys coming through. Paul Hazelby's, a rookie coach, so hopefully that he can continue just evolving and learning. I know John Worsfold's been mentoring him a little bit, which is fantastic by the South Fremantle Footy Club to give him that resource. But look, they're not far from the fore. So I guess if they can get on a bit of a roll, and they've shown some games this year where they've performed really well. Unlucky in the WA Day Derby, I like to call it the Foundation Day Derby. Yep. Nappy, as you know, at home ground we lost to those blokes down the road, which we don't like them too much. Nice but it's a great rivalry with East Fremantle. I can't believe they're going to come to Fremantle Oval and share our oval. How dare they do that? But anyhow, we're not supposed to talk about that. But hopefully they can get a few wins and start a challenge for the top four, because two or three wins, they're back into it.
Massive thanks to Jacko for joining us on the show. It's fantastic that he and the WAFL can promote such an important message. We will have these interactive scorecards will be available at the matches. You can pick them up inside your football budget or for a gold coin donation. And to remember everyone to get along to the footy, and for all the blokes out there, remember look after your health and know your score.